we are actually headed to jfrej, stands for Jews for Racial and Economic Justice, I think. Anyways, just so you know, I actually DJ'd an event for one of the members that was having a wedding there way back, probably close to around 2000s era. Right, we're in 2025, so this is like 2 decades later. Anyways, just so you know, they have they're a very strong organization. They've actually, created the careers of someone like Julia Salazar, who's in DSA right now. And a lot of the products that they co-endorse have amazing success. Not just Julia Salazar, I think also that the Street Vendor Project also has something to do with them. So the thing is that within the world that I'm in right now, right, certain things have been dangled in front of me. There's a guy named Raul Rivera. He's a Puerto Rican. And honestly, he's a street cat like myself. He actually came out to support the wrongfully incarcerated, which I appreciate Raul doing that. Right now, if you look at Raul's history, we started very much on a similar path. But all of a sudden lately, he's gotten huge amounts of, numbers and following as soon as he started saying all kind of, Islamophobic stuff and stuff that attacks. I have a lot of problems with Mamdani. And to tell you the truth, even despite my long history of work advocating and fighting on behalf of people that are Muslim Americans, they have not really returned the favor in any way, right? They are actually too in bed with the gatekeepers. It happens to all the groups. They're not exclusive. My people do it. Black people will do it. White people will do it. I mean, all the groups will do it. So it just is what it is. But jfrej has a lot of electoral power and a lot of know-how. They got large infrastructure, and if I could actually get endorsed by them, they have an actual endorsement team. But if they did that, right, that would put them at serious risk, and that would put them in a funny position with the people who are in power right now. We can see, even though jfrej and a lot of these socialists like to say they're anti-establishment, you could see that once they get the money behind them. Oh, what's up, Killer Boy Rahul? So once they get the money behind them, all of a sudden, certain people don't matter anymore. So you could see that, DSA, I have it logged on my channel. I somehow I have viewers right now. Go take a look at, I think it's called, I forgot the name of it, but Otis Johnson's picture right on the front. We had a town hall. My name's DJL7, yeah? We actually had a town hall with the longest wrongfully incarcerated man in New York City history. His name's Otis Johnson, and you could see the email right to myself. I include that in the video of the email to Mamdani, asking. And the thing is that Mamdani was struggling with the black vote. He's still struggling with the black vote. Got more to say on that in a second. But the thing is that even though he's struggling with the black vote, right? I said, look, you could help the longest wrongfully incarcerated man in state history instead of helping that person, Otis Johnson, right, or the other people I've worked with for decades. He decided to completely ignore what I had to say and decided to get down with Al Sharpton, the gatekeeper, the informant. Also, just so you know, just to mention something on the side that we're going to get back to this other issue, but I just want to mention, as in terms of Mamdani, right now he's got this big plan to have the grocery stores in East Harlem. Okay, aren't I right now in some place called the Republic of Astoria? Right? Why don't you save your experiments, your social experiments, for your own neighborhood? If you look at Astoria, Long Island City, there's no homeless shelters there. So the equity only, right, it only is good for weaponization. The actual realities of the situation are, I can point out these clear hypocrisies, which is why they are doing everything they can to make sure that I am not acknowledged. This is also, it's not as much of a problem for the Republicans, so they're happy I'm ripping into them. But a lot of the same techniques, a lot of people say, oh, if this is for my friends on the right that's watching. They'll complain about the professional activists, and that's definitely a huge problem. Talking about PSL, talking about People's Forum, these kinds of things, like these socialist organizations. But they do not see when the exact same thing happens on the right. Nick Shirley is the same phenomenon. He's definitely also a professional activist. See what I mean? Yeah? People are blind when it's convenient. And only the victims and the poor are really have their eyes opened up to this reality. Other people just float towards what's comfortable. So we're going to go check out jfrej. On some things we may have no two people can agree on all priorities or positions, and no two people really should differ on all priorities or positions, right? There's some people that anything the Democrats do must be bad, anything Republicans do must be bad. I'm not one of those types of people. So the thing is that jfrej, once again, I respect anybody on the ground that's making it happen. So I guess this message goes out to Raul, right? I hope you see this, right? I doubt you will, but you out here, you Puerto Rican, you out here, right? You actually a driver advocate, so you fighting against congestion pricing, things like that, right? Where is the support for yourself? Is that coming from other street cats like me? Or is that coming from people behind the scenes that's engineering your rise? Okay, Killer Boy's trying to say some stuff that got auto-moderated, asking if I want to play some kind of Schmex games with them. And you know what? Go ahead, you know what I mean? Build up Raul, send people to, you know, mess with me. I'm already homeless, so I really, what are you going to do next, right? Yeah, I know you can make my life even harder. Go ahead, do it. I'm a war survivor, yeah? I'm Korean American. We're very different from the other Asian Americans who used to manipulate it. 2,000 years of resistance and maintaining our own ethnic identity despite millennia of attempts to gentrify, colonize us. So y'all funny. I know y'all having a lot of success, you know, running over Palestinians. But I'm sorry to say that the Palestinian cause over here is people, you know, you see the Iran movement is highly infiltrated. All the leaders got killed off. What do you think's happening with the pro-Palestinian movement here in New York City, where Jews are 1.6 million of the population and Arabs only 100,000? They are, they're definitely controlling the anti-war movement. They're controlling the anti-Zionist movement. This is their turf. So the things that I'm calling on, things that I'm exposing, are uncomfortable for the elites at the top of both sides. But the more y'all suppress me, right, and I have documented all of this stuff, the further you give me a chance to show my commitment and my focus on making sure this issue gets addressed. So keep populating the fake stuff all around me. Keep dangling, right? Yeah. I got a kid out here flashing huge stacks of cash in front of my face. You know the deal, right? I think, what's his name? Cat Williams said it right. Anything they give to you can be taken away at any time, and will be taken away. And a lot of people got screwed. And some of the biggest people to get screwed are actually Asian Americans. The whole Hollywood dynamic. You could see, but you know, the Devil Wears Prada too. Once again, insulting my people. That's because my people are. There's a lot of us that can be manipulated, but a lot of us see through it because we've been through centuries of Japanese, you know, imperialism, stuff like that. And the U.S. likes to, a lot of my Republican friends like to yell the word terrorist. What does it mean, terrorist, right? We take a look at the nuclear bomb that killed many civilians, a whole entire city. You know, look, the one thing that's really kind of cool about America is you're allowed to say when America screws up and you can actually try to change things. Whereas other places, you got to give lip service and pretend like everything's cool when it's not. This is changing, and Republicans really embody that. So right now, they're the scum of the earth, but the poor people are, you know, we don't get the fancy, celebrity, pretty people. That's the activism of the left. We're not really get to be a part of that, right? We're actually the They want us there to wave the signs and say hi, right? I represent my people, but actually having a voice, that's a huge problem. Actual empowerment, that's a huge problem. So we're gonna try to see if jfrej might be receptive to some things that I'm saying here. My past, a lot of people that I know is gone, but I still have the history with these people, so I could still tap on that if I need to, and I will. So, you know, a lot of people selling out. Listen, Israel gets a lot of money that Korea doesn't, when we're really essentially in very similar places. So keep insulting and, you know, I'm just like an ant, right? You can kill one ant, but there's ants on the way. So go ahead. This is a natural state for my people. I know you got a lot of them quiet, not able to say nothing. Also, shout out to Chuck Park in some ways, but in some ways I also find him a little bit suspicious. So let's get that out the way, because I do want to log that. One thing I do respect his work, he's actually doing phenomenally well. But why is he phenomenally well? Doing phenomenally well, he was a diplomat, he was overseas. His dad is a district leader, but his, you know, it may be controlled opposition. Remember, he has ties to Obama, ties to this other stuff. He might be cool, he might be legit, I hope he is, right? Just being Korean American, he will have the same issues of why do they get the money, why don't we, right? But, you know, there needs to be some kind of balance. And you can see it, the MAGA movement is supposedly in an uproar about what's going on with the Israel First movement, but you could see that when I'm talking about it as a Republican, it just doesn't get the same energy or even attention or any coverage at all. This is by design, because I will not be controlled. So that's okay, let's keep going. Okay, that's going, we actually have to be in front of signs of Israel, isn't that interesting? Julie won for Congress, interesting, all right. And Julie won, once again, we see that the Korean Americans are actually making our play a little bit outside. So we got Julie won, we got, who else, Grace Lee, Linda Lee, Ron Park. We are overrepresented in elected positions, which is kind of cool. Anyways, we're almost there, folks. I'll get back to y'all. Peace.